This week on Inside Boulder News, improving police policy and operations is one of the main objectives of the newly created Independent Police Oversight Office. Boulder's first independent police monitor tells us how the city will achieve this. The first day of classes for CU Boulder is just weeks away. See what changes are in store for the 2020 semester. And a potential settlement between Xcel Energy and the city of Boulder was announced. Welcome to Inside Boulder News, your source for all things Boulder. I'm Jocelyn Avendaño. Boulder County has had a facial covering order since May. To better align with the recent statewide mandate, the county has updated its facial covering order. Face masks are required in all public indoor spaces for every person over 10 years of age at all times and outdoors when social distancing cannot be maintained. Parents and guardians are encouraged to help their child aged 3 to 10 to wear a face covering. The order does not have an end date and will remain in place until it's rescinded. There are currently over 1,839 cases of coronavirus in Boulder County. To date, 183 individuals have been hospitalized and 702 have recovered. There have been 74 deaths from the virus, with the last fatality occurring on July 14th. Boulder County health officials encourage community members to keep the acronym DVD in mind for whomever they plan to see. This stands for distance, ventilation, and duration. To keep up to date on all the latest COVID-19 updates, please visit the website seen on your screen. CU Boulder, like many other universities and schools, have announced their plans for the 2020 fall semester. Classes for CU Boulder students are set to start August 24th. But how will that look like? School officials tell us more. As it was announced in May, CU Boulder is making preparations for a COVID-19 ready campus for this upcoming fall semester. A mixture of in-person and remote coursework is the university's current plan.
There are remote options for courses, and there are some courses that are solely online. We have courses that will be a hybrid. Class schedules for students look different this year. And the way professors are delivering their courses will look different this year. And we've been doing a lot to prepare for all of these changes.
The university will conduct a 16-week semester with some courses offered in 8-week sessions. Fall break will be shortened for the semester to be completed remotely after Thanksgiving in efforts to reduce population density on campus and in classrooms.
In doing course schedules in a way that allows for more access remotely, that allows for more distancing between students, then we are working towards having that reduction in the density on campus. And that's in our classrooms, and that's in buildings in general, that's in common spaces, that's in our traffic patterns, all of it. A lot of what's being done in terms of scheduling, not just for students, but also for employees.
A daily health check must be completed by anyone going onto CU's campus. The use of face coverings will be mandatory at all times as well.
We have plexiglass barriers in certain places where there's a lot of kind of customer service interactions. Signage, a lot of signage will be across the campus. One, to help people know which way to move in different spaces, but two, as reminders of what's required in terms of the daily health check, the mask, and the physical distancing, always keeping at least a Ralphie's distance.
CU's move-in week will begin on August 17th and will continue in a phased manner. Things will be looking a little differently, however, as students will have to make appointments to move into residence halls to reduce the number of students moving in at one time and to allow social distancing.
For any student moving into a residence hall, they are required to have a COVID-19 test completed with a negative result within 5 days before moving in. We're also setting up a way for students to do that when they get here if they're not able to do it before they come.
Part of creating a COVID-19 ready campus at CU Boulder includes an online required training for all students, faculty, and staff in which they commit to comply with all public health and safety guidelines. In case of an outbreak occurring, CU partnered with Boulder County Public Health to set up a contact tracing program on campus.
We'll also be doing surveillance testing, and we're working on setting that up, and that's all about tracking trends and seeing where there's a potential outbreak to be able to isolate as quickly as possible and prevent the spread.
To see more details about CU Boulder's plan on the upcoming fall semester, please visit colorado.edu/roadmap. Classes start August 24th. Earlier this month, the City of Boulder announced its hiring of Boulder's first independent police monitor, Joseph Lapari. One of the main objectives of this newly created office is to provide independent oversight aimed at improving police policy and operations. On Lapari's first week with the City of Boulder, we sat down with him to learn more about this new position. Joseph Lapari is a police oversight professional with more than 14 years of experience in Chicago and New York. Most recently, Lapari served as Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety for the Office of the Inspector General in Chicago. As of this week, Lapari is now the City of Boulder's first independent police monitor.
The position will essentially be expected to audit the police department complaints and operations in general, make sure that the complaint investigations are thorough, are fair, are accurate and complete, and then also doing like pattern and practice analysis, where you look at data from the police department and see how the policies that they have in place are reflected in the actions of officers and the encounters with the public.
In this new role, serving in a civilian capacity, Lapari will establish and lead the operations of the newly created Independent Police Oversight Office.
We have a reform-oriented chief who has embraced oversight, and I'm really looking forward to having a good working relationship with Chief Harold and her team, but also on the community side. There's been a very engaged public in Boulder, and part of my role will be ongoing robust community engagement to make sure that the public perspective is being incorporated into how policing is done in Boulder.
Lapari will establish the operational philosophy of the office and develop and maintain standard operating procedures to ensure all matters are handled in a thorough, objective, fair, and impartial manner.
I don't want to make it sound like it's going to be easy, because it won't, but I think that's probably the biggest challenge, and trying to do that being fair to everyone, and then not appearing to be showing favoritism to one side or the other, or being biased to one side or the other, and always trying to maintain your own integrity in that environment can be tough. But you go into this field sort of knowing that that's what the challenge is going to be. So I'm looking forward to it.
On July 28th, the City of Boulder and Xcel Energy announced that they had reached a potential settlement on Boulder's clean energy future. If approved by City Council and Boulder voters, the agreement would cement carbon emission caps, enable innovative grid and clean generation projects, and target collaborative efforts to improve Colorado regulations on renewables. This agreement could result in a new franchise agreement as well, and would achieve multiple City and Xcel Energy objectives. City Council will discuss these proposed agreements on August 4th for a first reading. The second reading and public hearing are scheduled for August 18th. If City Council votes to place the proposed franchise agreement on the fall ballot, voters will determine whether or not the city will enter into this franchise agreement, as required by the city charter. More information can be found on the city's newsroom. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Boulder News. Stay tuned to Boulder Channel 8 for up-to-date information on coronavirus. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe. And be sure to check out the city's online newsroom for the latest city news. We'll see you next time.